What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Jake Castle back again with another video for you guys. Today we have the first rant. This is a rant about Dead by Daylight. Some of the things that I find negative in hopes of Dead by Daylight improving. But after I finish doing that, please stick around throughout the first 10 minutes of me trying to offer solutions. When I recorded the first part, the day after something happened. Me later on in the video will explain that. So yeah, and I also recorded the outro to that first half in the same instance as the bulk of the rest of it. So rather than cut it, I just kind of left it. It'll be around like the 11-minute mark that happens. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, I guess I will pass it on over to me with my rant on Dead by Daylight. Alright, Dead by Daylight. Game I love, I care deeply about, and I want to talk about this from my own perspective. This is not like an objective thing or anything like that. But I was watching a video from the Dead by Daylight creator Hens, uh, titled "Dead by Daylight is not ready for FNAF," and I 100% agree. Dead by Daylight has a lot of issues that I think need to be fixed. So I just wanted to kind of come on and rant about some of the negatives of Dead by Daylight. I could go on about like the positives and what I really enjoy about it. And maybe I'll make a video one day doing that, if you guys want to see that. And so I don't want this to be like just me complaining. So I'm gonna like try to offer my potential solutions to problems, right? That aren't just like, oh my god, Dead by Daylight sucks because this, and this. No, I like Dead by Daylight. I want to see it improve, right? So I want to offer kind of like some solutions I've thought of and expand upon some solutions that I think can be done differently that another creator might have come up with. So, this might not be the first time if somebody's like in the Dead by Daylight community has been hearing some of these solutions. But in Hens' video, he brings up like the new player experience quite a bit and how the tutorial's not really that great. So I'm not gonna kind of go into that too heavily, I don't think. But I want to just kind of focus on some of the things that I think about when I think of issues in Dead by Daylight. First of all, being the Go Next epidemic. I have an issue with it. Big issue. And the Go Next epidemic, for those who don't play a lot of Dead by Daylight, is a very specific issue that's very widespread. It's like, I don't like the map I'm on, so I'm going to get the killer's attention, have him hook me so I can attempt to get off the hook 3 times, go to second stage, and then miss my skill checks on second stage and die, so that way I can just go next, right? Or and like I don't like this killer, so I'm gonna go next, right? I'm gonna do all this stuff to go next, or I'm just not gonna play and go next. I don't like the knight, so but I would never do that just because like I think it's unfair for those who want to play the game. Um, so it really is horrible, and it's such a hard solution to think about, right? Because how do you stop this? People have brought up depipping. I don't agree with it because they remove depipping because your grade doesn't matter. It just gives you more blood points when it resets every month. And that's kind of really all your grade exists for, is to give you more blood points. So I don't think depipping is the way to go. But it really is one of the harder ones to figure out like a solution for. I personally haven't been able to think of one that's decent. Another thing I would like to go over with you guys, and this is the other really, really hard one, is tunneling for reasons that aren't gameplay related, right? This was an issue a while back. I don't think it's still an issue anymore. Dead by Daylight released a series of Pride Charms, and some killers, not all killers, would tunnel you out just for having them because they're horrible, and it's not cool that they did that. And I have a feeling that that could happen with Five Nights at Freddy's because it has the potential to be the biggest thing for Dead by Daylight, and that worries me that this could happen again. Where like, let's say the survivors Mike from Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, killers would go out of their way to tunnel every mic that comes into the lobbies. And there's going to be a lot of them. A lot of people like Five Nights at Freddy's. A lot of people in the Dead by Daylight community like Five Nights at Freddy's. But I don't want that to decentivize new players, right? Because Dead by Daylight matchmaking, not the greatest. Now, on the topic of like tunneling and toxicity, because that's really what that is. The only solution I can think of to the tunneling is do more with anti-tunneling, but at the end of the day, it is a gameplay style. You know, like it's something that you can do. Like I've seen killers do it because they've got like, you know, there's 2 gens left that need to be done, and they've got no death, and the killers have got no kills. You know, so it's like, how do you really handle tunneling? You really don't. You just pray that people don't do it. Unless Dead by Daylight wants to walk back their tunneling policies, but I don't think they will. And understandable. I don't want to stay on the topic of toxicity here, moving into how toxic the endgame chat can be. The endgame chat in Dead by Daylight can be absurdly toxic, right? You know, with people telling you to kill yourself because you use NOAD as a killer, or you use a specific perk as survivor. Killers don't like that; they get upset. Everybody whines, complains, and it's just like I understand general banter, right? But like it goes so far beyond banter in the endgame chat of Dead by Daylight that I think it is a problem that does need to be addressed, and I think the best way to address it is just have the ability to turn off the in-game chat. It's that simple. Just boom, have it turn off. Smite 2 has that feature. I think other games as well have it. And I think that'd just be a great way to solve the problem and fix the solution. And like fix that whole issue of the end game chat being just abhorrently toxic. I also think bully squads are dumb, but that's also just like more like on the ends of tunneling where it's just kind of like a player based thing. Some players will do it, some players won't. Do I think it's an issue? It can be. I think it can be decentivizing to new players, but I don't think it's the end of the world necessarily running into a bully squad. I also want to touch on slugging here briefly because it, like tunneling, it's another playstyle, but slugging has become such an aggressive issue within Dead by Daylight, right? Now, what slugging is like once you injure somebody and you hit them a second time, they go down into the dying state, right? They're on the ground, and then as the killer, you pick them up and you put them on a hook. Now, my big issue with that is you can just get left on the ground, and killers will do that, and I can understand it if like, you know, you do that, and then you see another survivor right there, boom, might as well, right? Sure. But then, you know, there will be times where killers will just leave you on the ground to bleed out. I've actually had this happen where all 4 of us went down pretty early on in a game, and we just got left to bleed out, and the bleed out timer is like 5 minutes. I think there's a really easy solution if they just added a base kit Unbreakable. Unbreakable, if you don't know, you can pick yourself up from the dying state 1 time in a match. I think that'd be great. Another thing I want to talk about, AFK crows and their collision. Right, so an AFK crow is something that appears when you don't touch the game, when you don't move around or anything like that, when you don't interact. And you can get 3 of those. And if you're cleansing a totem, right, it's sometimes where those totems are, there's like only one way out of a spot that a totem is, and another survivor will come over, stand right in that entry point, and just stand there. Just go AFK. And the crows don't have, like, in the longer you're AFK, you don't lose collision. So now you're just kind of stuck there, right? It's a form of sandbagging, a way to, like, screw over your team just because you're upset over X thing. I've seen it happen for as petty as missed one skill check on a gen. I think there's an easy way to fix it. Once you get an AFK crow, just turn collision off. It's that simple. And if you're the last survivor alive and you're AFK, the game ends. You die, game end. Now, I want to end this off with hacking. I'm not going to talk too much about it, because obviously hacking exists in every game. But in Dead by Daylight, it has become such a rampant thing, especially against content creators, where like hackers will find a content creator, get all their information, and then just snipe into their lobbies consistently and give them a bad time. This is more so an EU issue than it is an NA issue. Though it does happen in NA, there's actually somebody in the Dead by Daylight community who is a notorious hacker who somehow hasn't been banned. I don't know how. But just be on the lookout for hackers if you guys are watching this and you're new to Dead by Daylight, potentially for the Five Nights at Freddy's collab coming up. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here, rant about Dead by Daylight, some negatives because I like it and I want to see it improve, and maybe a developer of Dead by Daylight will see this criticism and learn from it. So yeah, leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. And I guess I'll catch y'all in the next one. So, with all that being said, I've been Jay Casterwell. You guys have been the viewers. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace. Alright, so here's the funny thing. The day after I recorded the first half that you guys just finished watching, Dead by Daylight announced a quality of life update plan. So, yeah, I couldn't even get that one edited and uploaded. So we're just going to, play it out and go through some of these changes, read through the update for you guys, and see what's going on. See what they've got going on. Alright. So, here it is. Upcoming quality of life updates. They're doing it in 2 phases. April to June is phase 1. May, June is roughly when they do the anniversary stuff. So, this is probably going to be where we see Five Nights at Freddy's. And then phase 2 is going to be July through December. April through June, they're going to be working on anti-slugging, surrender options, gamma settings, go-next prevention, hiding and body blocking prevention, spawn rules and map offering balances, improved AFK bots, bulk blood point spending, new quest system, more perk presets, preview your perks in lobby. And then in phase 2, anti-slugging and continued improvements, anti-tunneling, anti-camping, MMR update, map, and key item balancing. And then quality of life for that is going to be keyboard and mouse on consoles, custom game improvements, accessibility improvements, procedural words, and reduced login steps. Alright, let's see. Dead by Daylight Quality of Life Initiative 2025, Phase 1. Okay, here we go. To accommodate for the scope of this initiative, we have decided to delay several of our upcoming releases, including chapters, rifts, events, modifiers, and collections. That means there will be... Okay. So, the March license got delayed is what it sounds like. Potentially even stuff in, like, August has also been delayed. So that's interesting. That's new. All right, they've got us covered with a comprehensive breakdown. Great. Surrender state. The team has been working on a surrender feature which should limit player frustration on both sides. To get it right, we first need to identify situations where it's used where its use would be most appropriate, leading us to two scenarios. The first scenario, all remaining survivors have been slugged, and then all remaining survivors are bots for killer. Once these instances occur, players will be able to use the surrender option, ending the trial and retaining the blood points they've earned and escaping the disconnect penalty. I like that. I think that's really cool. Uh, I think that is a great solution. We'll have to see how it works once they implement it. Gamma adjustments. Dead by Daylight can get a little dark. Yeah. Not just thematically, and sometimes excessive darkness can hinder playability. True. So they're going to just give us a gamma slider. That's cool. Go next prevention. The go next expression refers to instances where a survivor deliberately does everything in their power to quickly go to their next game, including walking up to a killer standing still, running to a hook and repeatedly pointing at it, or commonly and intentionally failing skill checks while on hook. Yeah. To disincentivize the properly penalize this behavior, we will be implementing measures that will help us identify when a player is attempting to go next. Once identified, they'll receive a disconnection penalty point. The fuck is that? Is that just like the way that they choose to like quantify their disconnection timer? Like, you know, from 5 minutes to 10 minutes if you have the X amount of points type thing? Or what? And lose an entire grade. Holy shit. So if you're like gold 2, you go down to gold 3. Jesus, man. That is insane. We'll be keeping a close eye on this system to ensure its accuracy, but we're confident that this will help alleviate the issue. Yeah. I think that's a fair thing. I don't know if I necessarily agree with the entire grade loss, but we'll see how it all plays out, if the system even works. On the other hand, we'd like to reward players who stick it out through the challenging matches. Even when things take a dire turn, we'll be moving forward with a new emblem-based multiplier that grants additional blood points during your following match. The bonus, stacking over consecutive trials. Ooh! That's sick as fuck! No, that's actually fire. I really like that. Because blood points, you know, how you level up your characters, and there's a lot of them. It takes about 1,000,000 blood points to hit Prestige 1, which just unlocks the perks for every other survivor from that survivor, right? So, like, if you have Alan Wake and you want to use Champion of Light, I think it's the name of the perk. I don't remember the name of the perk. Fuck it, we're just gonna call it Champion of Light on Michaela, or Sable, or Gabriel, or Hattie, or Renato, or Thalita, Elodie, or Claudette, or David, or so on and so forth. You need to Prestige 1 them, and then at Prestige 2, the perk automatically unlocks at its second tier. In Prestige 3, it unlocks at its third and final tier for everybody. So, more blood points, always a good thing. Extreme hiding and body blocking. I didn't talk about the extreme hiding in the earlier part, mostly just because, whatever. Extreme hiding refers to survivors drawing out an unwinnable match by ignoring their objective and waiting out the clock. True. To combat this, we're changing the way AFK crows operate so they can more accurately identify when a player is deliberately avoiding engagement with their gameplay objective. Once a player receives crows, their location will immediately be revealed to the killer. Ugh. Don't know how I feel about that. That doesn't seem very great. We'll also be incorporating a feature that allows players to lose collision after receiving a third AFK crow, which should prevent instances of body block related griefing. Yes. 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 We recognize that map offerings are a bit divisive. Yeah, I mean, some people like them, some people don't. I understand that it can give, like, an advantage to you if you send somebody to a certain map, right? Like, if you're playing Billy, you don't want an enclosed map. You want a wide open map type thing. Some players enjoy them, while others feel that they can grant an unfair advantage. True. The fact that they automatically bypass both map and realm repetition systems. So, for those who don't know, the map and realm repetition system is how it used to work was that if I had played on a variation of, we'll say, Bad in Preschool, the next variation, that variation of Bad in Preschool, is pulled from the pool of maps I can play on in that for my next game. They recently reworked it to, instead of it being a variation, to an entire realm, right? So if I play a game on Bad in Preschool, I cannot go to Bad in Preschool my next game type thing. And that can also add to that frustration. Fair. Moving forward, map offerings will no longer guarantee the appearance of a given map, but rather increase its chances by 20%. Note that they will not stack. We're also looking to make it so map offerings, as well as several other types of offerings, will remain secret during load-in. That way your decision to remain in the match will not be swayed by external factors. I like that. Because some people will immediately try to go next upon seeing the offering. Obviously, they're probably still going to try to go next over if they spawn on the map, but maybe it helps alleviate that. So we're going to move on to some spawn rules. Survivor spawn placements have been a significant impact, can have a significant impact on the trial's outcome. An observation that was repeatedly recognized by our community. It's become clear that survivors spawning separately and thereby covering more ground allows them to gain a notable advantage in completing their objective. We're changing the default spawn rules to ensure each survivor will spawn within 12 meters of one another on the same floor if applicable. To accommodate this change, shroud offerings will be adjusted accordingly. Okay, I like that for killers. What they're referring to here on this is poor killers that have this happen. If you spawn in the dead center of a map as a killer, and each four of the survivors spawn in each of the different like corners that have a gen, right? And they do that gen, you can have 3 or 4 gens just pop in your face immediately, and you don't even have an injure state. You haven't even injured a survivor, right? So I think that's going to be a good overall change, and I think it balances it out because people throughout Dead by Daylight's history have been complaining whether or not the game is too survivor-sided or too killer-sided. So hopefully this helps balance it out. Improved AFK bot detection. Players that use AFK bots can be frustrating to have in your trial. We're working on improvements to our detection systems so that we can quickly and identify them accordingly. I don't know what AFK bots are. I have not experienced them. So, great. Bulk blood point spending. To speed up the general blood web activity, we're adding a button that will allow you to spend blood points in bulk. Yes. Please. Because for the people who have all of the perks for every survivor, being able to do this to help you get to P100, phenomenal. Love that. Love that for you. I hope that in this bulk blood point spending, it allows you to select which perks you grab from each level of the blood web. So that way you're still getting the perks that you want if that is not the case. If you do not have all of the perks. Quest system. Previously announced last year, the quest system is part of a larger update to the archives and rifts. So expect more information in an article specifically dedicated to that. For now, we will be reworking the challenge system as well as daily rituals to reduce the grind and make it easier to earn rewards and increase overall level of fun. Yes. Good. Love that. Love that. Get rid of glyphs. Get rid of the glyph challenges, please. Perk loadout. And also, get rid of skill-based ones, too. Get rid of skill-based ones. I don't like the skill-based challenges. You know, I don't like the ones that are like, oh, you know, hit 35 hatchets from across the map with like hunters or some shit. Like, it's dumb. I hate it. Like, I'm okay with them being like character specific. I think that's cool. I think that's fine. I just don't like the try hardy like skill based aspect of it, because there are people who just aren't that great at the game, who still love to play it, who still love to grind through it. It just makes it a lot better for them. Perk loadouts and preview. After a successful round of A/B testing, we will be allowing players to see their own perk loadouts while in a lobby, as well as adding additional perk loadout slots. We believe that these changes will be we'll be back at our anniversary broadcast in May to recap Part 1 and provide deeper insight into Part 2 of our roadmap. So I'll definitely do a video covering Part 2 when that comes out. I think these are overall good changes. I don't know about the wording of this, to see their own perk loadouts. Like, will I just be able to see my perk loadout, or will I be able to see other people's perk loadouts too? Because that would be ideal. As somebody who runs something like Kindred, having 2 Kindreds is useless. What Kindred does is it allows you to, when a survivor is hooked, you see the killer within a certain range of the hook. I think that's great information to have for your team, but if there's 2 people running Kindred, it's kinda useless. So I think that being able to see if somebody else is running Kindred, so that way somebody can swap off of it, would be great. But yeah, I think overall, I think these changes are good. I think they're fun. I think they'll be fine. Now, finally, the end. This is it. Hopefully, there's no more updates before this video goes out. If so, that's gonna suck. I don't want to have to do this for a 3rd time. So, now that we've hit the end, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and especially let me know down below if you enjoy the new rant style content that I'm going to be bringing to the channel here and there. But now, with all that being said, everyone, I have been Jay Castwell. You guys have been the viewers, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.